A very good afternoon and welcome once again to Norway. The moment for the women who've weighed in the last 2 hours, just under 58 kilos. And that is the Championship of Europe, which is just about to unfold here in this community hall in Førde, a town of just 13,000 souls. Well, this is the women's 58-kilo final, and we have no less than 10 competitors, and it is a competitive competition. However, everybody, bar one, is up against it, and that, as we meet the competitors, I will explain in just a moment. This is Isabella Yalian, representing Armenia, 21 years of age, European Junior Championship winner, and Irina Lepcha from Romania, second in Europe last year. Anna Roos for the Swedish team, just coming up to her 27th birthday, and Sarah Davis for Great Britain. Sarah Davis, the under-23 champion at 63 kilos last year. Dora Chakunte for France, a 21-year-old, third in the European Juniors a couple of seasons ago. And then the runner-up in the European Juniors last year, Veronika Ivashuk of the Ukraine. Next, it's Jennifer Lombardo for Italy, 24, and a bronze medalist a couple of seasons ago in the European under-23s. Alexander Klein, world champion and 3 times European champion, and still hungry for points for Poland. And here's her teammate, and this is Verhoška, Johanna Verhoška, 27 years of age. Best competition she's ever had was the World Championships at home. And Bojanka Kostova, she's very much the star. She's the reigning world champion and also the snatch and total overall world record.
And athletes managing to stay with the Asian lifters, it makes for a very good Olympic Games later this year.
Well, first onto the stage is Sarah Davis for Great Britain. Competed at 69 kilos in the World Championships in Houston, but that was more about management of talent than anything else, which Mikhaila can explain to you. But under 23 European champion last year and contributed 88 kilos towards that gold medal. So 83, hopefully for her, a good, confident start.
Hook, stay over. Come down, tight.
Well, that is the start that we were hoping for from Sarah. Relatively inexperienced on the international stage, although she's had some success so far. She really hasn't been an international lifter for that many years, and it's good to see her competing in an A group at this European Championships.
And she's now, Mikhaila, amongst a group of very talented young women in the British team. And
yes, she is.
I noticed, you know, at the dinner table and things like that, really good spirit, and they're together, and they're working, and they're actually, you know, they're pulling for each other.
So a lot of these girls now train together in Loughborough at the National Centre, and it's good to see there's actually a team spirit, a team atmosphere, which didn't really exist, I guess, when I was competing. Kind of went it alone, but it's good to see the depth in talent now coming through.
Jennifer Lombardo, also an under-23 bronze medalist a couple of seasons ago, representing Italy. And that's another good start. So just brings that right foot forward to keep the feet in line as the regulation requires.
Yeah, solid opening attempt. This is what we want to see. Competition to get underway. Lots of positive, good first attempts. That's when we're going to see the competition really open up, and it is close. All 10 of these lifters are due to start within about 5-6 kilos of each other, so there could be a long wait for some of these lifters between first and second, and between second and third attempts.
But if you take Bojanka Kostova's 220 entry total out of the equation, then there's just about 8 kilos covering the whole of the rest of the field. So if you accept that Kostova should win, the rest, though, it's wide open for silver and bronze. And here comes Dora Chakunte for France.
Well, I think the medals are going to be decided by the most consistent lifters in today's competition. At this level, when it is this close, you cannot afford to make any mistakes.
French, another nation with a really good squad of up-and-coming young women. They've got actually youth and experience, and Chakunte here at 21 years of age represents the youth.
Yeah, she does, and these countries are all fighting for places for the Rio Olympics. So it's highly competitive across all the categories so far.
European junior champion last year in Klaipeda. This is Yalian.
Well, a little soft under the bar, but tremendous amounts of power and explosion. You see the replay, you'll see that she catches the bar fairly high and then rides it in.
And that has taken her into the lead by virtue of her lighter body weight, 57.18. She's the lightest of the class, and she goes ahead of Constantina Bentelli, who won the B group snatch earlier in the day.
And it's great to see some of these youngsters making the transition from a successful junior athlete into the senior ranks.
It's also great to see a number of Western European athletes, particularly in the women's division, coming on to take them on the more established East European stars. And here's another good example, Anna Roos. Birthday just round the corner, 5th, or I should say 8th in Europe last year. 85 kilos for Anna.
A smile of relief. Well, it's tough, you know, when you spend many weeks and months preparing for this. You just dream of getting that first lift in and making a good start to the competition.
But what's really interesting also is that, you know, these are women that we're beginning to see now who've been, you know, working towards this for anything from 5 to 8 years to get to this level.
Yeah, some of these youngsters, some of these athletes, when they were younger, would have had their eyes set on an Olympic Games or a European or a World Championships, and the majority of them will be focused on Olympics. So that's, you know, at least a 4-year cycle, and some of them starting out in the sport may have not been able to make it to London, maybe not experienced enough, not strong enough, but would have had the next games in sight, and that's what we're seeing transpiring here.
So Jennifer Lombardo out for a quick second attempt, just a 2-kilo increase here. Now, this would take her up into 3rd place. Still shy by the odd kilo of her personal best, but it is only her 2nd attempt. Well, there's a little bit more to come, surely.
Yeah, it's technically not the best lifter we've seen. If you watch the replay from the side, you'll see that she throws her shoulders back. As a result, the hips will swing forwards, and that puts a big swing on the bar. Luckily, caught it in the right position, but, you know, whether she catches it there next time or leaves it slightly in front, we'll have to wait and see.
Well, here's one of the famous ladies of weightlifting, Alexander Klein. She is the most experienced, still only actually in her early 30s, but what an achiever. A world champion back in 2001, 3 European championships, and here to support the Polish team, hopefully to get a medal. She got a bronze last year in a very good competition, but to actually achieve some important points towards Olympic qualification for the Polish women's team.
Oh, it's gone out the back. You know, I competed against Klein. I think the first time was back in the World Junior Championships back in 99, I think it was. And she was coming through, rising through the ranks, and didn't she rise quickly?
She did indeed,
and
she,
go out the back,
you know, the early 2000s, an absolute mainstay of the Polish women's team. But Sarah Davis is out on stage, and the bar has gone to 86 kilos. So this is a 3-kilo increase from the school teacher, well, part-time school teacher up in Ilkley in Yorkshire.
Personal best of 89 kilos. Well, that was done at the heavier body weight. Talking to her coach, Jack, earlier, she did 88 about 10 days ago in training, just a kilo or 2 overweight.
Yeah, Jack Oliver, who'll be competing himself in the 77-kilo class tomorrow. Come on, Sarah.
Well, I hope that's a good lift. Did we see movement in both elbows? I think she'll be okay.
3 white lights.
Well, That's good lifting, I say, within herself. This is new territory for her. She hasn't been at this bodyweight since the Europeans last year. There was a flicker of those elbows, but not enough for the referees to fail it. Great lifting from Sarah.
Yeah, and that's 4 kilos up on last year. So, you know, good start. Now, Klein. She is much stronger in the clean and jerk. That's really her forte. But she's got to get a score on the board here.
Ooh, goodness me, Klein under pressure right now. She's one of the very few female lifters that can say that she's competed at all 4 Olympic Games. Women's weightlifting first came in 2000. She's competed in all 4 games. Very experienced, so if anybody's going to pull it out the bag on the final attempt, just throws her shoulders back from the bar, doesn't stay over long enough. She's in trouble.
Yeah, uncharacteristic, that. There's Lombardo. She's got one more attempt to come.
Oh, that's tough. You know, the clock, we were talking about this rule before the competition started, David. The 2-minute rule. So Klein following herself, ideally should have 2 minutes, but Lombardo was called.
You don't like this rule?
No, I don't like this rule at all. Lombardo was called. She upped her weight. The clock's gone back to Klein, and she now only has a minute.
Well, this is crucial, as you explained, Michaela. If she makes this, then she has the possibility of collecting a total. If she doesn't, then it's very painful. Come on, Alex. She can do this.
Oh, no. Well, I tell you what, that is absolutely gutting to see. How many more years she has left in this sport? She's a mother of 2. She's been a great ambassador for her country, and that is so, so sad to see.
Yeah, because she came here to do a job, and she's now not.
She hasn't done it, and she needed points for her team. Poland are one of the few, well, one of the quite a few women's teams that are still yet to qualify an Olympic place. Poland would desperately have needed these points.
It's almost, you know, with people like, you know, Klein, Misterka, Agata Roble, late 90s, you know, early 2000s. It's almost unbelievable to think that they haven't qualified a place.
Well, it is, completely. And she was one of the highest scorers for her team. Good for Great Britain, good for other countries, but...
So smartly onto the stage with a smile. Anna Roos. It's actually a little microphone on that magnesium bin there. So if you hear anybody mumbling, it's probably the athlete just psyching herself up.
Well, lacking the explosion through the middle. What a shame. Bar didn't really seem to gain any momentum. Coaches are saying, come on, 1 attempt remaining, you can do that. Just a bit lethargic, 1 speed, no real explosion, therefore not generating enough upward momentum on the bar.
So this to put herself into first place now. Another measured 2-kilo step here for Lombardo. And this would be a personal best by 1 kilo. Italian women's team has been doing pretty well out here.
They are, they're nailing all the results. They're getting the points. Oh, so close. Nearly went behind, saved it from going backwards, then it went forwards. What a shame. That would have been a personal best attempt.
Yeah, just a pity, isn't it? It's so marginal, but this lift it's really unforgiving, is it?
It is, just jumps forward, see it nearly going backwards, overcompensated, couldn't quite steady herself. the reactions from the coaches. I think we should have a small camera, a small clip on the coach all the time.
Now, Ada Angelica Ulrika Rus, to give her a full name out here. And this is important, to stay in touch with the rest of the competitors. Again, a 2-kilo increase from her first successful attempt. So she really, really needs this. She's down in 4th place, but of course this would just zoom her into first spot.
That was better, much more spark in that lift. Had to take a step forwards to steady herself. But that's there, great recovery.
And a new personal best for her, because she got 86 kilos in the European Championships last year, so by a kilo, that's an improvement. Just a pity she didn't get the second attempt. That would have given her the opportunity to just push a little further. Good explosion, brings the feet in line, and enjoying herself, which is great. Or seemingly enjoying herself.
You'd be enjoying yourself when the bar is down after the last attempt. Until then, you've got to stay focused.
Now, first appearance now of Irina Lepsha, representing Romania. Silver medalist last year in the Europeans, so potentially a medalist again this time around. 88 kilos for the lead.
Soft at the bottom, just a little bit wobbly. That's a good attempt.
Yeah, but wobbly's okay, as long as the arms are locked out correctly.
Wobbly is undesirable.
Yeah, but as long as the arms are locked out in the required fashion.
It just shows how much stability these girls have around the shoulders and in the core, just to stabilize themselves when they do have a wobble.
And straight to the bar, Veronika Ivashuk of the Ukraine.
Well, that's solid. Very tall lifter for this weight category. This is one of the disadvantages that I used to have. Tallest in the field just means you've got so much further for the bar to travel. That was a really solid opening attempt.
At 20, the youngest of the aspirants today.
Nice, really nice lifting.
Well, apart from Klein Oskar, so far everybody's got off to a great start, but now the chips are down now when it comes to the second attempts, and Dora Chakunte for France. Been out to the last 2 World Championships, so getting a fair amount of experience, and a medalist a couple of seasons ago in the European Juniors. Oh. Well, that was close as well.
Well, it was a 4-kilo increase from her first attempt, and that would have taken her right up to personal best kind of territory. It's frustrating.
Yeah, the strength is there.
It absolutely is.
So Sarah Davis to try and make it 3 out of 3. Now, this 88 kilos, well, I had this as a weight that she lifted in the European under-23s last year. But, you know, 1 or 2 have had a few failures here. There's still people in the wings yet to start, but
she needs this.
This is important and could be very helpful. In 4th place at the moment.
Tight. Close.
Well, whipping your shoulders back as the bar passes the knees. Going to put a big swing on the bar. I think that's one thing that Sarah needs to go away work on now, is trying to get... you could hear her saying the coaching points to herself. So close is what she said. If you look here, swings the bar out a million miles. That big loop on the bar is so hard to control. You either leave it in front, it goes out the back door, or occasionally you nail it. So she needs to go away and work on that. That will improve her consistency, and hopefully we'll see her come back stronger next time.
Now, hardly an opportunity to recover for Chakunte. Still got 40-odd seconds in which to make this lift into a good 3rd attempt. And this will make a big difference. Yes, excellent, really excellent.
Well, she corrected the error. She will be disappointed having missed that second attempt, but it's done now. That's a snatch over for her. Needs to go back and focus on the clean and jerk. Good explosion, great speed under the bar. And this time it was in exactly the right place.
Well, she and Yalian are the two light lifters in the class, so they have that body weight advantage, but Yalian now coming out. First attempt was 85, this is 89, 4 kilo increase.
Now we need to see a bit more fighting in the lift. It's so dangerous though, if you try and hang on to it as it's going behind, that's when you risk damaging the elbows and the shoulders. You can see she's wearing tape on the shoulder already, so probably reluctant to hold on for too long. See the coach is anxiously looking at the scoreboard in the warm-up room. They're trying to predict what the other athletes will take.
So this is the state of play, but of course not everybody started. But you can see France with the advantage there, 88 kilos. And remember, the world record holder, Bojanka Kostova, yet to start, and also Joanna Bochowska of Poland. So Isabella Yalian following herself, so well over a minute in hand here. Has achieved this weight, did so last year in Tbilisi in Georgia in the Europeans, where she finished in a respectable 6th place overall.
Oh, short, very short as the bar past the knees, didn't quite get full extension at the hip.
Now that is very expensive, to fail the second time and the third time, and you know that's left her down in 7th place.
It's not enough. It's not going to be enough to contend with the medals on the snatch. Whether she will be able to bring herself back in contention on the clean and jerk, we'll have to wait and see.
Well, at the moment she's only 3 kilos down on the current leader, but
well, Kostova has put her starting weight up from 90 to 95.
So a little more pressure now coming on to Joanna Bochowska of Poland after the disappointment of Kleinowska, because now points for Poland rest on the shoulders of this experienced 27-year-old. Comes from the southeast part of Poland. Full-time athlete, just finished her master's degree.
Ooh. Movement in the right elbow, maybe.
2-1 against. So both the left hand and the right hand referees. So let's have a look at this from the front here.
Watch her. There we are.
Yeah, very clearly on the right arm there. You saw the press out.
Well, she did the right thing. Smiled, acknowledged the referees as if to say, yeah, got it. But not quite.
And Veronika Iwaszuk now. Just the 2 kilo increase, 90 kilos though, but that will be good enough to go into first place.
Doesn't quite find that bottom receiving position first time, just sinks into it, but it doesn't matter. She's got enough leg power to get enough height on the bar. Really strong lifting, 1 attempt still remaining.
Iwaszuk then in the lead from Chakunte, who's finished lifting in 2nd place. And then Lepsha, who's still got 2 attempts to come. Now, Bochowska. this is not what I was expecting, and it's really tough now.
Well, I wouldn't like to be one of the Polish coaches right now. This is unbelievable. The Poles are usually so consistent. And to see one of their most experienced lifters bomb out. Her teammate now is in a similar position. 2 failures, 1 remaining. She's following herself. Plenty of time to recover. The snatch doesn't take too much out of you. Didn't catch the weight on the bar there. 75 kilos from Kostova. Just warming up, power snatching. You can see, will she sit in on this one? No, just playing. She's probably, you know, already gone up and warmed up to a weight that's pretty heavy. But the competition has slowed down quite considerably with these lifters following themselves. So by the looks of it, it's probably just dropped the weight down. And to be honest, she's posted a 95 starter, which, to be fair, is just a training weight for her. So, one to watch.
I think, just to make the point, because I don't think we've mentioned it, but actually her snatch world record is 109 kilos.
You know, like you do at this body weight.
So, obviously it's the European record as well as the world record. She represents Azerbaijan, but wow, Wachowska. Well, this is real pressure. Good audience in this afternoon.
Well, that's the way to do it. Really good recovery. Thank goodness, she's saying. Thank goodness.
She's relieved. I'm relieved for her, you know, because it would have been dreadful for both of them to have bombed out.
Oh, goodness, could you imagine?
Oh. And technically, they're usually absolutely spot on, the Polish team.
You just got to question whether or not they've got their timing right in terms of programming. I know the coach of many years, the Polish coach, has switched across to coach the men now, so...
So that's put Wachowska into second place by virtue of slightly heavier body weight than Eva Shook. But now, again for the lead. And Lepsha at 91 kilos.
Doesn't fancy hanging on to that as it's going behind. Good extension. Just so soft. Almost put too much effort into it. Caught it high, rode it in, and that bar's hitting her as she tries to find the bottom position. Not because she's not strong enough, just slightly mistimed.
And yet another athlete who finds herself following herself, because the situation is that Eva Shook has put the bar up to 93 kilos, I think it is, for her third and final attempt. That's the Ukrainian. And of course, Kostova yet to start at 95. So no alternative but for this woman to come on and follow herself. Now, at the moment, she's out of the medals in 4th place. So this is really crucial, because if she goes into the lead here, then obviously she's going to guarantee herself a snatch medal.
No pressure then. Wow. That's going to be really disappointing, because it's clearly a weight she's very capable of. I've got to say, the standard here is competitive, but the weights are not overly heavy at this body weight.
No, when you consider that the B group best was Konstantina Bentelli, 85 kilos, and she's down in 9th place. So the first 9 at the moment are only separated by 5 kilos. Now, Eva Shook. Great opportunity here. Gone for a 3-kilo increase.
Chest down a little as she came off the floor.
Well, they were asking a question of her, and she was asking a question of herself. I mean, remember, she's already created personal bests here in the first 2 attempts.
No, you've got to say that the standard of women's weightlifting in general has progressed. The depth in talent The competitiveness has really improved, but over the last 10 years, really, the standard in terms of weights lifted has not gone up that much.
So here is the world record holder. And it's Kostova, the last to start, and she'll be the last to finish as well. 95 kilos with her first attempt to not only go into the lead, but to give herself a 5-kilo cushion.
Power snatch or squat snatch? That's how easy the weight is.
Yeah.
That wasn't predictable.
Well, you said in the warm-up room when we saw her a few moments ago that she was like playing with the weights.
Well, it's just a training weight. What does she need to prove here? Maybe she doesn't want to show her cards ahead of the Olympics. She's coming here, using it as a training session, training through it. If you can, why not?
Yeah. So the situation in the medals now is that obviously Kostova has gone into the lead and Eva Schuck is guaranteed the silver medal. And after that really dodgy start there, 2 failures, somehow Joanna Wachowska of Poland has ended up with the bronze medal by virtue of her body weight, with Chakunte in 4th. So a 5-kilo increase going on the bar to 100 kilos, but that's still 9 shy of her own record. The European record's 109. Our world record, though, is 112.
She'll be going for a personal best power snatch today, I reckon.
Yeah, in the World Championships in Houston last November, December, she beat the very useful Chinese athlete Menrong Deng of China. 245 was her total, and she beat the Chinese athlete by 7 big kilos. Well, it's great to watch a world-class athlete.
It is. The thing is, there's no pressure on her whatsoever. This is just a training session. And, you know, usually athletes can power snatch around 90% of their best full squat snatch. And she's done a 112. We're getting close to that now. So it wouldn't surprise me, you know, if the next attempt is an attempt at a personal best power snatch. Just for her own satisfaction, really testing herself in that discipline.
It's quite interesting that, you know, she wanted to come here. She wanted to, as you say, you know, avoid any rustiness, come out on a, you know, big stage, television lights, all of that. You know, she wants to win the European title. Remember, last year she was a European under-23 champion. Now she wants the senior title.
So much talent, so much potential. This is...
You know, back in Azerbaijan, there's a big bonus waiting for her to add this title to her world title.
Well, 105 the bar is being loaded to.
Well, yeah, she's now massively ahead. I mean, she's 10 kilos ahead of Eva Schuck in 2nd place. That's the technical marshal's desk, as they say, where the different coaches fill in the attempts and change them rapidly as required.
Let's not lose sight on this. Yes, these are big weights. These are huge weights. But the rest of the field, I think, are quite substandard, really. A 90K, 2nd and 3rd place. You know, I've been in competitions at this level where, you know, 92, 95 doesn't even get you a medal. So this is world class, though. This really is.
So 105, really to stamp her authority. This is a woman you can look forward to seeing in the Olympic Games.
For sure. Taking on absolutely the best Asians. Oh, I'd fail that as a power snatch. I think she went too low. That was definitely a squat. Really easy lifting. 3 out of 3, no problem whatsoever. For those at home watching, a power is defined by catching the weight above a 90-degree knee bend. Just went below 90 degrees there. But a very, very comfortable 3rd attempt, 105. What are we going to see at the Olympics?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? Because in the World Championships, she totaled up 252 kilos to win the overall gold. But she's totally in command. She's totally relaxed. So, predictably, the fight really is for silver and bronze. And there you can see what the fight is there. Eva Shook in second place on 90. Wachowska on 90. Chakunte on 88. Lepscher there also on 88, 87, Sarah Roos. And there you can see Sarah Davis, 86. I mean, just an outside squeak of a medal, but everything's got to have to go her way. Well, this is where we normally contemplate amongst the contenders who might get the gold, silver and bronze. I think we can safely say that unless something really untoward happens, that Bojanka Kostova is going to take the gold medal overall, 105 kilos, and, you know, 3 great attempts there. And as you said, really hardly breaking into sweat.
Absolutely comfortable in the first half of the competition. Huge personal best on the clean and jerk. Was it 140, I think? So she's only posted 115, but I'm sure we're going to see some big jumps.
And then it's really in second place. You've got Eva Shook. But really second and third are up for grabs. And you've got to say that Wachowska of Poland saving the day and getting a bronze medal as a result of it. But I think if you look at the overall leaderboard, I mean, it's quite interesting here. I know you were explaining to me you thought that probably a medal was probably just out of the reach of Sarah Davis, but of course if she can execute in the clean and jerk 3 good attempts and 1 or 2 others fall by the wayside, you just never know.
It's so unpredictable, this sport, and especially when the competition is this close. You get a bit of luck on your side, a few lifters missing weights, and if you have a good day, anything is possible.
So just about half a minute or so till we get started, and of course all the athletes have posted opening weights for the clean and jerk, and here they are, and you can see there Lepscher, 2 from the top there, 110 kilos. So that suggests that this is going to be a strong suit for her. Klein, remember, 108. She can go for clean and jerk honours, but she can't get a total. Lombardo of Italy, and then you've got Wachowska at the bottom there, 2 from the bottom, with 110 kilos as well. So we think Kostova is secure. She looks very concerned and worried, but actually, you know, Chakunte for France, 2 out of 3, and she finds herself at this particular moment 2 kilos out of the medals. Representing France, 21 years of age, European junior bronze medalist a couple of seasons ago. Happy with that?
Yeah, nothing wrong with it in terms of judging. Just looks a little robotic in the way she's moving. I think we'll see her over the next few years really develop as an athlete. She's stepped up from the junior ranks. Just by the looks of it, needs to be a bit more confident in her own ability. Clean is done.
And that puts her into second place overall. And the reason she's gone into second place is because Muna Scandi El Assad of Spain lifted a total of 191 kilos in the B group earlier today. So she's the woman to catch at this particular moment. And she made that up with 84.107 for 191. So Chakunte at the moment looking as if she might well have to follow herself here, because just looking at everything else, is 105, 106 kilos.
That was Anna Roos we just saw with, was that 95k on the bar, warming up. These athletes will be timing their warm-up to perfection, so they've taken their last attempt in the warm-up room, 3-4 minutes maybe, before they are called to the platform, giving them sufficient time to recover.
The woman I told you who was overall in the lead, though, didn't win the clean and jerk. On body weight, it was Anastasia Keller from the Ukraine with 107 kilos. Now, Chakunti out for her second attempt. 3 kilo increase, 103, personal best attempt.
Nice position under the bar. I don't like the fact she whips her head backwards. Could throw the shoulders backwards as well. Fairly precise in her lifting. Have to see if she's got the leg strength to stand up with anymore.
This is the stage of the competition when you start to feel as if the petrol's running out.
Yeah, for an athlete to remain focused, you know, half an hour or so before the competition gets underway, they should be well in the zone. It's a long time to remain focused for. You then have the break after the snatch, and then you've got to do it all again.
Different approach, different hand position on the bar for the clean and jerk as opposed to the snatch.
Yeah, the snatch, you've got to move the bar from the floor overhead in one continuous movement. Therefore, having the hands wide means you don't have to generate as much upward momentum. And because it's one continuous movement, it makes it hard to lift much more weight. The clean is in two parts, the hands closer. That enables the athletes to get their elbows up and rest the bar on the shoulders before attempting the jerk. You'll see some athletes moving their hands wider for the jerk, again for the same reason, so the bar doesn't have to travel as far.
So, Isabella Alyan, Armenia.
Well, no problems. Had to wait a minute or so at the back of the platform while the loaders were messing around with the collars, but stayed focused, good lifting.
Yeah, but remember, she needs some good lifts here. She was 5 kilos out of the silver and bronze medals at the halfway stage, having failed those 2 snatch attempts at 89 kilos.
Yeah, well, she has best of around 112, so we need to see a fairly big increase between first and second attempts. As you look at the scoreboard now, she's put it up by 5 kilos. She needs that if she's going to stay in contention. Lepsa just with 55 kilos on the bar, just warming up.
It's interesting, one or two of these women that were on the stage, actually in the World Championships in Houston, all in a way took a step forward, and Yalian was actually one of those. She did get the 89 at the World Championships, and as you said, produced a personal best in the clean and jerk. But here comes the tallest of the class. Now, she's already got a medal in her pocket, Eva Shuk, from the first part of the competition. So,
nearly let go of that before the down signal.
But she's got the total. Okay. She's got the total. Goes into the overall lead, and yet again, that 105 represented a 1 kilo personal best. So good start.
Just had her chest really low in the starting position. This is a common trait of some of the Ukrainian lifters. Big drive to arm's length. You just see there, her arms are not big. The effort doesn't come from the upper body. It's a big drive from the legs to get the bar moving upwards, and all you do then is drop underneath and catch at arm's length.
So a big cheer from the British contingent sitting behind Michaela and myself here in the hall. Sarah Davies comes out for 106 kilos, her first opening attempt.
She looks anxious, looks nervous. So does Dave Sawyer in the front, Andy Callard in the middle, and in the distance there, Tommy and Andy, former Olympians.
And as Michaela pointed out when she was working through the snatch discipline, talking to herself, giving herself her own notes, little reminders.
Oh dear, this is not a good start for Sarah.
Didn't catch that.
Well, just dropped her chest as she landed. Now, no excuses, you know, you lose the body weight. I know she's come down from about 65 kilos, but here, good extension, hangs on a bit long, on her toes, and it's just going to bounce off. You cannot use the drop in body weight as an excuse at this level. You select the weights appropriate to your ability on the day. 106 should be a weight she's capable of.
Oh, well, when you consider her personal best is what, 113 kilos? I mean, she lifted that.
She's done 116, but at a heavier body weight. She's done 113 at this body weight category, and only and she did that only 10 days ago as well. So we know she is in that kind of shape.
So Jennifer Lombardo, 106. Splits, brings that leg forward, has to stand still.
She does. She had that momentum moving her forward, pigeon steps in that fully extended position, but the referees won't tell her to put it down until she is stationary.
It's pulled her up from 8th in the snatch ranking into the bronze medal position.
This is tough, you know, to come out for the clean and jerk, having bombed on the snatch. Klein.
Would you remember those days before the new weight categories were? Well, do you remember before the half kilo was dismissed? And,
oh, I remember those days.
127.5 kilos, this woman.
And I remember watching her doing it.
Yeah.
I do believe I was competing against her at the time. Phenomenal lifter in her day.
In the Polish army. Actually, her coach is the sergeant backstage, and you're watching the private at work.
Private needs to find a bit more explosion if she's going to secure many more kilos, but it's good to see that Poland have some points on the board now. She's still fighting, still battling, and she is a true champion. She will keep going till the end.
This has always been much more her discipline.
It has, and she's always made the weight look heavy. It doesn't matter what weight is on the bar. Very slow off the floor, very hard to stand, but so solid overhead.
Sarah Davis. Second attempt.
Yeah, just saying to herself, in and out. What she means is catch it at the bottom, stand straight up.
Back tight, let's go.
I do question whether or not she's thinking too many things. There's a lot of cue points that she's saying to herself.
Yeah, instead of...
just get on the bar and lift it. At this point, you should know what you're doing. Up, up. Use the bounce. Does she have the legs for the jerk?
Get the total.
And there comes the smile. That's a smile of relief. That was a tough lift. There's not much more there. And if I were coaching right now, I probably wouldn't put more than 108, 109 on the bar. Her legs are gone.
I mean, to be honest, from the British perspective, as you said, not terribly experienced, but, you know, getting points for the British team. But the reality is the likes of Rebecca Tyler and also Zoe Smith, they'll be looking for performances that will give them an individual place by right. But nonetheless, you can't count on that, so every point matters.
They are trying for the overall, so the fact that Klein bombed from Poland will not have done Team GB's hopes any harm at all. Tell you what, it's going to be a big battle here between France and Great Britain. Both teams are vying for a place at the Olympics, and it is so, so important for the team that finishes in the lead.
Well, Chakunte's just gone ahead of Sarah Davis in the overall by a couple of kilos. So the situation at the moment, Werenska Ivashuk of the Ukraine has the overall lead, 195 kilos.
I think if I was calling Sarah's weights next, I would call 109 for the simple reason that's the weight she needs to go ahead of the French lifter.
Yeah, and exactly what you were saying about this sort of nip and tuck between the two teams. The coaches have got to be aware of that, the battle within the battle, and not get distracted by something else. If Sarah can do what you're suggesting and stay ahead of this woman, Dora Chacunte of France, then in a way she still will have done the job.
It's tough, you know, when you've lost a lot of body weight, you're nervous, you're in a big competition. You've just got to put that aside, and whether you can feel your legs or not, you've got to go out there and work hard. Believe in yourself, believe that the preparation has stood you in good stead.
Eva Shook to enhance her advantage. Oof. Another personal best attempt.
Hit her hard at the bottom. Good leg strength, though.
Adjusts, arms going out to make the distance shorter, and strong overhead.
Very nice.
Good drive.
Tremendous amount of leg power. She catches the clean so high.
So totals up 198. Just to put this in perspective, she was ranked 24th in the World Championships in Houston last year. Total up 190. She's now 8 kilos to the good over that. But that's the sort of improvement you can get when you're at her age, at only 20.
90 kilos on the bar for Lombardo of Italy. Looking comfortable. These lifters will only be doing singles now as they get heavier. One lift, sit down.
Well, that bar has gone to 109, but is it going to be for Lombardo, or might it be Sarah Davis?
If that's for Lombardo, then I think her coaches have made a mistake.
No, I don't think so, because I think, actually, just explain that to you, one or two of those pictures you see from the warm-up room are actually replayed so that we can see what's going on.
So they're just trying to catch us out.
Yeah, they are. But Sarah Davis, as you predicted, 109. Now, maybe a little relief there. Just as you said, Michaela, just needs to go and lift it.
Needs to stand. Oh, dear. Wow, how disappointing. 106. She's way down on the 113 she did just 10 days ago in training, but 116 is her absolute best. And you've got to question whether or not she's lost that weight in the right time scale. If you do it properly, you can do it without losing too much strength. She'll be disappointed, but she has secured points for the team.
Well, that was your regime, which we were talking about the other day, wasn't it?
We just see how hard the bar hits her at the bottom position. She's generated way too much height on it, and it's really smacked her at the bottom. Looks like she's in pain as well.
Because you took, on average, 6 weeks, didn't you?
6 weeks.
Yeah.
I'd be cutting weight, roughly a kilo a week, a bit more at the start. And I'd on average be losing around 7.5 kilos to make weight.
I love the smile we get. Anna comes onto the stage, gives everybody a nice smile. And now 110 kilos on the bar for the Swedish lifter. Nice.
Oh, tried to drive the bar with her arms. Come on, you've got to use your legs for that part. It's not going to go up. Your arms are not strong enough.
And that is exactly what she's being reminded about at this moment.
Cheer just drops her chest on the clean as she stands up, has to take a step forwards. And this part should be a drive from the legs. She tries shoving it straight away.
So, Johanna Wachowska, bronze medal in her pocket somehow after the first part of the competition, and now coming out here to open up on 110. Now, she's capable of, at her very best, something like 115, but I'm not sure that she's in that sort of condition. Her best ever performance was getting this clean and jerk weight in 2013 in the Worlds, when the World Championships went to Poland in Wrocław.
Oh, tough clean, but the pole's always so good overhead. No exceptions there. Oh, thank goodness she's in the competition. That relief.
Yeah, that at least getting the first attempt in here. Isabella Yalian, second attempt for her now. 5 kilo increase at the moment, overall 7th. So this would give her 195 kilos, and it would put her by lighter body weight up into overall second place. So this fight for the bronze and silver medals really on here.
Ooh, body buckled as she dipped. It's a sign that the bar's sitting high on the windpipe, stopping the oxygen to the brain.
This is all, I'll tell you what, Michaela, isn't this the moment, apart from Kostova, who's leading the competition, isn't this the moment for all these other contenders to realise 3 out of 3 is what's required?
You know, consistency is absolutely everything right now. No heroics, no crazy weights, just consistency.
Now, can Lombardo do this? Because here she's taking a 4-kilo increase. This would take her to 195, and this would put her into the medals. It would put her into 3rd place at the moment, and she still have one more attempt to go. So, crucial would be an appropriate adjective at this moment.
Oh, Stan, that's tough. Oh, goodness me. Just held on to that a bit too long. She's okay. She'll be fine. Somebody want to catch the bar, though, before it takes the centre referee out. Just taking her time.
The other thing I was just going to say before you bring in your comments on her performance, but it just highlights the risk and the danger element of this sport.
Well, you know, we're taught how to lift correctly, we're taught how to drop the bar correctly, but if you watch this now, it's almost a bit dramatic here. Drives to arm's length. Should have let go there. She was never going to get it. Why is she trying to hang on to it? She's just asking for trouble. So a little foolish in my eyes. At the point where you know you've lost it, just get rid of it.
So now you're looking for the leg drive here.
For the jerk, yeah. If she's going to drive this to arm's length, it's got to come from the legs. Clean's good. Needs to drive. Better. Still a bit army. But it went to arm's length this time, and she'll be pleased. She's in the competition. She has a total, 1 attempt remaining.
And that's put her up into 3rd place, 197 kilos, 2nd in the clean and jerk rankings. Oskar of Poland leading those at this moment.
Kostova in the warm-up room. You can see she's really far into her warm-up. Just playing with the bar. 15-kilo bars for women, 20 kilos for men. She hasn't even started warming up yet.
Interesting, the Romanian Irina Lepsha not due to come in until the bar reaches 111. It's at 110 right now.
Oh, right on her toes as she landed. Just watch the posture in the start position. Her shoulders are very far in advance of the bar. Chest is down. That's her style. Her first movement then is to hinge at the hip rather than drive with the legs.
Well, she finishes effectively there on 198, so it is a new personal best for her. And the 108 that she got in the clean and jerk is a new personal best. In fact, 3 new personal bests in the competition for the tall Ukrainian. But Yalian. Bar in front, hips behind.
She pushed herself away from the bar. And it's difficult on these kind of weights. You really have to have that confidence and self-belief that you have the legs to drive the bar up. And if you can't drive it any higher, you've got to split wider and drop your body lower. But you cannot be behind the bar.
Now, this is very interesting now because you've got Anna Roos of Sweden with 1 attempt left and Jennifer Lombardo as well. So they're very much in a mix for getting into the medals. Anna Roos is already there in 3rd place. She has the better opportunity.
Lombardo needs this to go ahead of Sarah Davis of Great Britain, which is important for Olympic points.
Yeah, they're separated by a kilo at the moment.
Oh, is she going to stand?
Wow.
Surely she doesn't have the legs left for the jerk. Shaking off the dizziness.
Odds against.
Well, it was a gutsy effort. Good result.
Sarah Davies at the moment is in 5th place.
She is. Good result there for Great Britain.
Now she will.
Not so
she
good
will
for
drop.
Italy.
She will drop down because Kostova will push her down.
Yeah,
to
but the important
6th.
thing here, David, is that we've got to stay ahead of the teams that haven't already qualified. So in this field, I think we've got France and we've got Italy.
Well, France is already ahead of her.
Poland.
And so is Wachowska.
And Sweden.
Sweden is ahead of her. But here comes Lepcha. Irina Lepcha representing Romania. Now, is this where she really makes her mark? Lepcha with 111 kilos on the bar, well capable of 119 if everything is going her way. 113 in the World Championships last year.
Nice, hardly even has to move her feet in the split position, has plenty of leg power to drive the bar very high. You can just hear her wheezing with the bar on her shoulders. Difficult to get the oxygen in.
And that's taken her straight into 2nd place overall. Obviously, the lead in the clean and jerk. Wachowska still leading, Lepcha 2nd, Ivashuk 3rd. Anna Roos of Sweden now down to 4th overall. So Alexander Klayovska looking for a consolation prize here, which is a medal in the clean and jerk. She's more than capable of doing this. 106 kilos now, up to 111 for the 2nd attempt.
This clean is going to be tough. If she has the legs to stand, you have to put money on her jerking it. She's a fighter. Oh, I don't know. I think there's movement in that right arm.
She's controlled it.
Hour left as we look at it. She'll smile for the referees, walk off confidently, but I think... Oh, goodness me.
2-1 in her favour. But just looking at the jury who's sitting right in front of Michaela and myself. Any movement from them? No. Doesn't look like it.
Jury are...
Static.
Well, I'm pleased for Klein. Watch her right arm, hour left. There, press out. She was lucky there, very lucky to get away with that. She'll take it, she'll take the points for the team. 1 attempt remaining.
So this is the state of play. Remember that Kostova, the world champion, has yet to start, but you can see Lepcha leading the clean and jerk there from Kleinovska. Great effort there. And her teammate Wachowska in 3rd place. So those are the clean and jerk standings overall at the moment. In the lead, it's Wachowska of Poland, from Lepcha of Romania, Ivashuk of Ukraine, who's finished her lifting, and Anna Roos, who's got 1 more to go. And the bar going to 112 kilos now for Joanna Wachowska. Wachowska's never quite made a medal, an overall medal in the European Championships. 5th last year, 4th a couple of years ago.
She's got 1 on the snatch. Can she convert that to an overall?
Well, it's very much for her all about this first phase.
She's got it. And if only we had a camera on the coach right now.
Yeah, it's going crackers. I'm sure we'll see a moment of him in a little replay in a moment.
Do you know what? I think she's got to call it a day there, isn't she? She's got one attempt to go, but I think if they put much more than a kilo on the bar, she's going to be in trouble. That was a really gutsy effort. Great speed under the bar, rounds her back to stand up. That's not great technically. Good drive to arm's length. Body nicely underneath the bar. That's the only way she was able to hold it.
Haven't seen her do that sort of weight really now for a couple of years, so well done. It's my life. Well, she's got, as you say, she's got that attempt, but here you've got the situation overall there. Oskar, who's increased her advantage there over Lepscher, but Lepscher's not finished. She's coming out for a 3-kilo increase, but you've still got Klein.
Kleinowska's going for a medal, you know, on the clean and jerk here.
Yeah. Bar going up.
Roos.
Yeah, Lepscher's gone up to 100 and... Is that 15 or 16?
15.
15 kilos. So that's going to put the Swedish lifter, Anna Roos, in. Now, Anna's situation is that this is a 4-kilo increase, and were she to get this, this would take her to 201 kilos into second place.
Well, if the timings on these cameras are correct,
yeah,
Roos has just literally a minute ago taken 95 kilos in the warm-up room, and that might explain why she's late coming out here. She's tired now after having just done an extra warm-up attempt.
And not even 30 seconds.
Yeah, she's blowing. She's out of breath. Coach has got the timing wrong in the warm-up room there.
Yeah, so got to be calm. She's going to have to use these 15 seconds. Big moment. Come on, come on, stand. Oh. Everything against her. She needed that extra 30 seconds, didn't she?
Well, when you've got a long wait between attempts, sometimes the coach says, come on, let's take another weight just in the warm-up room to keep the legs ticking over.
Well, not that. She'd been pushed into going for a personal best.
Yeah, that's competition for you. You know, she's risen to the challenge, didn't quite have what it took on the day.
So, Kleinowska.
She fancies her chances here of a medal on the clean and jerk. If she can stand with it, she's got a chance.
Well, at the moment, she's in third place in the clean and jerk, but Kostova still to come in. So this is her moment. She's challenging her teammate, Wachowska. This is more than she lifted by a kilo last year when she collected the overall bronze medal. Not easy.
Does she have the legs? Come on. No, she's done.
No, she's not going to go from there. She gave it her best shot.
Lost the timing, lost the bounce, lost the momentum. So hard to stand with a dead weight. She's never been the strongest standing up out of a clean. She's always been a fighter. She's currently in bronze medal position, but remember, we still have Kostova yet to start the clean and jerk, so you feel for her she's going to miss out on the medals this time.
Well, here comes her teammate, who's currently leading.
Guaranteed a medal now.
Well, you see, that's what I was saying a couple of minutes ago. She's never won a big overall European medal, but...
Well, as you said, 4th in 2014, 5th last year.
Yeah.
This year, minimum bronze, could be better.
Yeah. Now, but having seen the 112...
You wouldn't put your money on this. Camera on the coach.
Can she clean it? Yes, she can. Right. Big effort. Oh, terrific. Applause all round the auditorium here
Wow.
Oskar, 3 out of 3. What a way to finish, and what a way to guarantee yourself an overall medal for the first time in the European Championship.
She's got a 5-kilo lead over Lepsa as well. Lepsa's being forced to go up in weight.
But just reflect on what happened in the first half of the competition with those 2 failed attempts.
So nearly out of the competition, only just nailed her 3rd snatch. Sign of a true fighter, and here she's come out and executed 3 clean and jerks, and that last one was probably the best of the 3. Thoroughly deserves the medal she's about to have. Question is, what colour is it going to be? This to go ahead of Oskar.
Yeah, this is a 6-kilo increase, which is going to take this young woman to 205 kilos, a kilo ahead of Oskar, if she can make it. So, 117. Still a couple of kilos shy of her personal best. She looked really good on the first attempt. Good clean again.
So much leg strength. Struggling to get the oxygen in.
But again, minimal movement with the legs, as you say, which indicates the leg strength. And there she goes into the overall lead in both the clean and jerk and the total.
Well, she's going to either force Kostova out for her first attempt or up. And Lepsa, if she fancies a gold medal in something, she's going to have to at least match what Kostova comes out on. Whether that's possible or not, we'll have to wait and see.
Well, 120, she's done exactly what you suggested. I think Kostova's going to come out here.
Yeah, she's just behind the scenes there. I can just about see her coming through the warm-up room.
But first attempts always take priority over second and third attempts, so it will be the world champion to come out, and on her way to the world championship total of 352 kilos. 136 kilos was the total she lifted. 252, I should say. 136 kilos. So when you consider she's coming out to start on 120, it's a little bit like the first discipline. This is, or should be, very straightforward.
Power clean or squat clean? I think she power jerks as well, doesn't she? Could see powers all the way here.
Representing Azerbaijan, Boyanka Kostova, 23 years of age.
Oh. Barely bends her knees.
Well, that was the minimal, or the minimum of effort.
Yeah, look at the size of her legs. Look at the size of those quads, though. Tremendously strong and powerful. One of the shortest athletes in this group, so has the less distance to move the bar, but so much power generated. There's your 120. What are we going to see next? Come on, 130. Give us... Trouble is now, if Lepsa is successful with her third attempt... No, she's not even coming out. Lepsa's just declined her third attempt. He's going to let Kostova play it out on her own.
Yeah, so effectively that, as you can see, is the way the medals are going to be shared out there. Lepsa with the overall silver, Oskar with the overall bronze, and Ivashuk missing out there in fourth place.
Here we are, 130, the bar's going up to, second attempt.
Well, she's got a total of 225 kilos, which is 5 kilos beyond the rather modest entry total that she put in. So, 10-kilo increase. Actually, to be fair, Michaela, even though this is well within her ability, you always have to respect putting 10 kilos on the bar as an increase.
Yeah, you do. This is still 10k below what she's capable of. So
I'm trying to make it exciting.
Okay, but just to give the viewers back home an understanding here, you'd probably take this kind of jump up to, you know, a weight that's this far below your best. After 130, you'd expect probably a 135.
But we're now into, you know, we're now well over double body weight.
Oh, well over.
Yeah.
I mean, this girl is unbelievable. I mean, this is truly world class, and she will be competing, and I'm fairly sure will be competitive for medals come Rio.
So just think about the appliances in the kitchen and what they weigh.
Where is this going?
What they
weigh. Okay.
Just translating, you know, the big American type double fridge or something like that.
I went into a primary school once, and the kids said, you know, what can you lift? And you say 123 kilos. Okay, this is a bit more. And I had one class that did some research and came back and said, that's the size of a baby elephant.
But it's always great to have a world champion at the European Championships, and goes to work here.
There we are, there's your squat kick. Goodness me. Speed she stood up out of the clean, like there was nothing on the bar. Come on, let's go 140, 141 for a personal best. Come on. I want to see her under pressure.
What?
She's taking the mick out there, come on.
Well, it's a world record is 136, isn't it?
136, I've got a...
No, hang on, it's not.
I've done, she's done a 140. I think it was at the World Champs last year. Don't quote me on that. 136.
I've got 136 there. Yeah, of course, she isn't the world record holder for the clean and jerk. That's Shui of China at 141.
She's not coming out for a third attempt. She's taking her tape off there, we can see. And looking at the scoreboard, there's a line scrubbed through her third attempt. So she'll be happy with 130, and she sure did make that look comfortable. And I think she'll be going into the Olympics with a tremendous amount of confidence.
So 4 or 5 minutes to the medal ceremony, and Kostova there. Just, well, very shortly, as is standard, the first 3 medals overall are automatically tested. And there you have the clean and jerk results. Of course, she's won the gold. She's won all 3 golds there. Lepsa taking the silver, and Wachowska denying her teammate Karnowska the bronze medal in the clean and jerk. So now we're just waiting for this replay here. This is effectively the winning lift, and then we'll give you the overall results. Well, she's well ahead of this class. She's very much Premier Division in the women's 58 kilo category. So that's Kostova 130 here. The overall result there, and look at that, by a whacking 30 kilos. She takes the European title, so she now owns the world and the European, and who knows, Michaela, it may well be the Olympic title come Rio 2016. And looking a little further down there, so overall, Lepsa silver, Wachowska in the bronze medal. Sarah Davis finishing ultimately in 7th place, but those 2 failures in the clean and jerk, pretty costly in terms of losing out the opportunity to